So I'm at my brother-in-law's house. He got a new house on a lake, and the property needs a lot of work. For me, it's a landscaper's dream because it's a blank slate, and he'll pretty much let me do what I want. So I started working on it a little bit last night. We did some small projects. I'm doing kind of a survey of what's going on. So this area right here had a split rail fence all the way across that was decrepit. Probably had been there for 20 years and it was completely falling apart. I had him take that out. I will piece in a photo of what it looked like prior. And then what we're going to do in a couple of weeks is I'm going to landscape and put a border bed here. The challenges we have with this property is it is full of, it's right on the edge of a forest, and the deer pressure is incredible. The soil is very, very sandy. Again, we're really close to a lake, and so those are unique challenges. So it's going to be fun to go through this and see how I come up with some solutions. So last night my husband tried getting this tiller going. And he needs a new spark plug or something. I'll have to run to the store. So we're basically going to till up and put some temporary plants in here. I haven't quite decided, and then I'll do permanent shrubbery in the end. But we have to get the ground worked up and leveled off. In this section, he has 2 septic cleanouts. This is just a pipe that goes down and over. And I decided to put some boxwood hedges in because they're deer resistant. The rose bush is not deer resistant, but I did spray it. I have a bottle of this new deer out that I'm using at my house, and it is working amazingly. Otherwise the deer would have ravaged my tulips and my hostas, and they're staying away, so it's doing pretty well. But this is a cute little mini garden that I did last night, again just to kind of mask these cleanouts, and that they're rarely used, so we just need to make sure the tops are exposed. We're going to go to town today and get some mulch. I didn't have mulch to complete this little project. So taking a closer look at this garden, I've got green velvet boxwoods, and these will get big and they will touch in the end, and I can shape them. And this rose here is one I tried at my house last year by my deck, and I just absolutely love it. It smells wonderful, and it was a rebloomer as long as you deadhead. And it was just, I loved it. It is called Calypso, and it's part of the Easy Elegance collection. Then I put some dark purple petunias in. These are wave petunias, so that should help fill out. And that completes my first little project once I put some mulch down. And he's elected he wants red mulch, so we're going to go to town today and see if we can find some. So brother-in-law is a disabled veteran, very, very patriotic. And he loves lavender. So in this bed, we're doing some lavender on the interior. And then I just put Dusty Miller on the exterior. Again, Dusty Miller is an annual in this zone, but this should fill in and look really good. This variety of lavender is new. We're going to give it a try. Hopefully it works. I only got 6 plants. I'm going to use this in my own French garden at home and see how it goes. So this variety of lavender is called Super Blue. It gets about 18 inches tall. The Dusty Miller will form about a 1-foot clump mound, I'm hoping. And then he's got the septic tank here. He has a septic tank here. I had them put a riser in because I didn't want to be digging up the lawn all the time. And we will put some probably supertunias in containers on top and let those cascade down. And then it will look very patriotic. I don't know, maybe I should do red. Maybe I'll do red supertunias, and then it'll be a red, white, and blue garden. Just thought of that right now. What do you think? I think that's a great idea. So this property comes with these matching, or this set of lilacs. I believe they're old-fashioned lilacs, and what we're going to do is rip them out, and at the base of these lilac bushes, there's tons of babies coming. So I'm going to be digging all of this stuff out, and he's got a little tractor, garden tractor with a backhoe, and we're going to dig out the main root and break this apart. Then what we're going to do is we're going to plant a hedge all the way across the front of this border, and this is 240 feet long. So I'm going to place, I need 80 of them. I'm going to place them 3 feet apart, and that should look just spectacular. Well, it will make a nice border, and I might add another evergreen on the inside of it, but to the outside it will have the lilacs. And I'll make a nice border for him on this side. So this space here, it's kind of a nice little space off the house, and I'm thinking about making a little courtyard area for him right here. I showed him some images, but what we're going to do first is we're going to get that border in, and then I'll get to see how it looks. I like to be in the landscape space and get the feel for how it is before I do additional work. I like doing one part at a time. So another challenge we have is this gutter comes down into this area of the house, and so there's a lot of water that comes into here. So I want to do a rain garden in here, and visually what I'm thinking is digging this down to create a catchment for it. And I believe there's drain tile here already, but we might have to snake some drain tile in. Don't quite know yet. But I'm thinking this corner in particular, putting some mulch down or landscape fabric and some boulders or some big field stones I think might look really good here. And then amongst that I'll put a rain garden in, meaning taking some plants that really love taking up that extra water so we have less runoff going into our waterways. So that's what I'm thinking about this space right here. Moving into the patio area, and we're in the middle of mowing and doing other projects, but I told my husband I'd like him to build a couple of nest boxes here for gardening, and we could put some herbs and tomatoes and stuff like that in this little section. And originally I thought one long bed, but I think instead I want two separate ones, maybe two 8-foot beds, and then a path in between them right here, and I'll put like pea gravel or something down to just make sure it doesn't have to be mowed. And then that way he can get around, because otherwise if you have just one long bed it's hard to get everything. But we may change our mind on that. We'll see how it looks. But again, I'm thinking two 8-foot beds in here, and maybe the full length to connect up with the edge of this fence so that this line is straight. We'll see how that goes, but that's my initial thoughts anyway. Let me know what you think in the comments. Does that sound like a good idea? I'll give another view. Here is a view from this section where we would put that garden box or the raised garden bed in here. One thing that's interesting is this patio area is a little bit on the downslope, so I don't know if we need to put some drain tile on the uphill portion of where the nest boxes are going to be, to be able to let that rain come down. Now hopefully most of it's getting absorbed by the grass, and I might put some other trees in it absorb, but the thing is that we do have this drain field right here to be cautious of. Although when I had everything inspected, it seemed to be fine. It's got these pine trees right next to it. So in this section of the landscaping, we have some old flowers, I think, that the previous owner left. I don't know what they are. We're going to find out when they bloom. Or they're weeds. I just don't know which. I don't recognize the foliage. But this is where the shutoff is for the water, so I need to determine how I want to treat this and maybe put a path going to it. My initial thought is I am going to put cardboard down along this whole area up into where we're going to have the rain garden, and I am just going to simply mulch it for now. So I'll have him weed whack it, down pretty low, and then that might be a project I can get done, kind of a quick kill. His daughter's coming to visit in about a month, and we're trying to get the property ready, so this is going to be the first time she's seen his new property. We have this beautiful cyclone fence we just installed last month. He's got 2 dogs, and this just provides him a safe environment to be outside, and it's really quite a beautiful fence. Just gorgeous. It's 130 linear feet. It is 5 feet tall, and it's really nice to keep the German Shepherd in check. This is his current entryway, and it's a bit of a challenge because I don't know if the camera really picks this up. There is a significant slope out here, so you can't comfortably sit out here or do anything. Right now he's moved his wood storage out here, which is actually perfect. And we have some other house or garden decor. We haven't quite figured out where it's going just yet. But yeah, this is a little courtyard area. You could probably put some pots out here, but I don't know what we're going to do with this area just yet. This is the other side, which enters into the dog's playground. And the dogs come out all the time, and they're urinating, so I don't know if I want to really put trees out here, but maybe I will put a couple of small trees just to kind of frame the exit, and maybe I'll put a little rabbit fencing or something to keep the dogs back a little bit. And then what I think I'm going to do is just simply level this grass mess out, and again put down some cardboard and just mulch it heavily and see how that works. Again, just trying to make it as simple as possible. Getting in here to mow or to treat is usually a problem, and we don't want to put chemicals down, and we don't want to put any chemicals down because, of course, you got the dogs are in this area. So right now the dog has some really nice shade. He's got some big pine trees here, and he's got a maple tree. And this one pine tree is very sick, and there's big branches that broke off, but we really don't want to take it down until we need to. It's such a, nice shade tree for him. And you can see if you look at the tree here, I mean, it's not gonna do really well. A strong wind could possibly topple it onto the fence and onto the house, I suppose, but right now we're gonna just hold off doing anything with it. We may change our mind, but yeah, this tree's very, very sick. I've seen trees stand like this for a long time. On this corner of the dog fence, we have an old martin house, and I do not believe the martins are using them. I don't know if I've seen any martins come and go. I'll pay closer attention. But there's a big hole on the bottom of it, so it really does need to be replaced. The pole is a little bit kittywampus. Not quite sure what I think of that. I'll have my husband look at it. I think the martin house is a good thing because it helps to control the mosquitoes. I just think that it needs some TLC. The other thing that I like about having a long pole like this is I can grow some vines up it. I've seen trumpet vine grow all the way to the top of poles like this, and it's really gorgeous. So it may be something that we can do. One of the things we'll also be doing is doing some landscaping on the outside of this fence, and I haven't completely decided how I want to handle that. I really want to grow some boxwood or some yews, I think, to go on the side, and maybe I can intertwine that with some flowering shrubs, or maybe I can do, I haven't decided what I want to do here. Evergreen would probably be best, but I may elect to go with a viburnum instead that has 4 seasons of interest. I'm growing highbush cranberries on my property, and they tend to be quite beautiful with their spring, summer, and winter displays. So I don't know. We'll have to see. And I believe they're deer resistant, which I need to get deer resistance from these shrubs. So here's a look at the property. It's a little bit of a dark view because the sun is not out. It's really cloudy out today. But this is the front corner, and I'm thinking about doing a nice display, like a hello kind of garden in this area, and I'm thinking about putting an arched or an arc of trees. Thinking about putting an arc of trees here, and then just make a nice little roundish garden on the corner here, kind of as a statement pieces when you come in, because when you come in the development, this is like the first place you see, so nice to really make it a showpiece. That's my goal. So in this front corner, which is the entry, it's got a slope running. It kind of slopes down to about here. I'm thinking about putting a rounded garden in here, and I'll back it with some pine trees or something like that. I haven't quite decided. And again, put all deer resistant, drought tolerant, which kind of go hand in hand, trees, shrubs, and perennials. And then the area on this side, this is 120 feet long, so where it connects to the 240. So these are really nice long borders, and I really can do some things to make it pretty showy, and I probably shall. He does have an area on his property with some baby white pines that are growing. We're in the spring, and they've already set candles, so it's not the time of year to dig. So maybe in August I'll come back and I'll dig those and then relocate them up here. Try holding the camera like this. So it's 120 feet across the front here, and it's probably at least 60 feet deep from that front border to that dog fence. And I think what I'm going to do is plant a bunch of white pines in here, just to kind of give him some more privacy, and because I really like white pines. So if you watch my channel, you know you've seen them before. And then look, at the dog's extra shade, you know, although it'll take several years before they're the size of the red pines, before they're the size of the white pines that you see in this video clip right there. I believe those are white pines. Probably should take a closer look. Contrary to the forest over here, those are red pines, which I don't really like red pines that much. They tend to be too spaced out. I like my white pines to be a little bit tighter. Speaking of our four-legged friends, there's a deer walking through right now as I'm filming. If you've enjoyed this little landscape video, please give us a thumbs up so YouTube knows to share this content with others. Also, consider subscribing so you don't miss the rest of the series. This is part 1. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.